3A does what a lot of phones fail to do, and that is to make the succeeding generation more appealing than the previous generation, all while retaining the same starting price as the previous year. Let's see what it's all about. So as a bit of a recap, the Nothing Phone 2A released last year at a starting price of 1,699 ringgit. This came with a Dimensity 7200 Pro chipset, 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage, and 2 cameras. Those 2 cameras being a 50MP main camera and a 50MP ultra wide. In true Nothing fashion, the Phone 2A donned a transparent rear panel with a plastic back and a plastic frame with a matte finish. It also had an IP54 dust and water resistance for protection. Fast forward to today and we have the Nothing Phone 3A. So the Nothing Phone 3A launches at the same 1,699 starting price. It comes with 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, but we have the Snapdragon 7S Gen 3 chip, and it comes with 3 cameras this time, and that is a 50MP main camera, a 50MP telephoto, and an 8MP ultra wide. Not to mention the back panel and the frame that's now switched up to a tempered glass back and an aluminium frame. Meanwhile, the IP rating has also been upgraded to IP64, which means better overall dust resistance. Also, there's a new Essential Key, which gives you direct access to Essential Space. So what is Essential Space? Think of it as your depository of screenshots and voice notes taken using the Essential Key button. We'll explain more later, but for now let's talk about performance. As mentioned earlier, the Phone 3A comes with the Snapdragon 7S Gen 3 chipset. It is a mid-range chipset, much like last year's Dimensity 7200 Pro. I'm going to be honest, I could not tell the difference between the two, and that's a good thing, because the Phone 2A performed flawlessly and you get the same thing here. The Phone 3A remains one of the snappiest mid-range phones released so far this year, and it comes with an unflinchingly smooth 120Hz AMOLED display. That makes it great for binging, content streaming, and basically all your other daily users. So where Nothing differentiates itself from others is with the user experience, and at the core of that is Nothing OS. Nothing OS is perhaps one of the most customizable operating systems out there, and it comes with a few cool things. I personally love the Quick Settings widget, which allows you to toggle certain settings right on your home screen itself rather than having to navigate the drop-down menu or go into your settings menu. Widgets aside, you can also enlarge your folders and your icons so your most important and your most favorite apps can stand out. So the Phone 3A is kept running by a 5000 mAh battery with support for 50-watt wired charging. However, the charging adapter does not come in the box. Instead, what you will only get is a USB-C to C cable. How are you going to charge your phone with the full 50-watt charging? You're going to have to sort that out yourself, I'm afraid. As for the glyph interface, there aren't any groundbreaking additions. The only subtle difference is that they have rounded out this third strip here, so it follows more uniformly along the camera module. So in terms of usability, the glyph notifications does have a variety of functions, one of which being essential notifications. So what this does is, if your phone is facing downwards, it silences all other notifications from your apps and only lights up from the apps that you want to be notified with. Other than that, the glyph also works as a volume indicator as well as a timer. Now moving on to cameras. If you notice, the 50MP ultra wide has actually been reduced to 8 megapixels. The trade-off here is that you now get a 50 megapixel telephoto capable of 2 times optical zoom. These are pretty standard cameras for its price point. There's nothing really spectacular about it, nor are there any deterring drawbacks that labels it as a flop. It's a tri-setup that looks great on the spec sheet, and in fact the main camera and ultra-wide works really well. They render color and sharpness really decently, and even the night photos turn out better than I expected. I can't quite say the same for the 50MP telephoto. I did find the photos were a little bit less vibrant and washed out even. And unfortunately, it does not come with OIS. So that means that when you take your shot, your hand has to be really stable, or else you're going to get that blurriness seeping in. That said, these are adequately usable cameras that ticks the boxes for casual users. If you're not going to zoom in on intricate details and you're not going to scrutinize every grain of sand, this does the job. So now if you notice on the right panel, there is a button which Nothing calls Essential Key. So what is Essential Key? So this is something interesting that Nothing is introducing only this year. This Essential Key button is multifunctional. So if you press once, it will take a screenshot. If you press and hold it down, it will take a screenshot and record a voice note. And if you press twice, it will lead to what Nothing calls Essential Space. Now there are a lot of ways to describe what Essential Space actually is. In short, it's where all your screenshots and your voice notes captured using the Essential Key button goes. It's worth noting that only your screenshots taken with the Essential Key button gets filed into the Essential Space app. Your normal screenshots, which you take with the volume button and power button, does not go into Essential Space. Will you use it? Well, it depends. I personally didn't find myself going too much into Essential Space. Perhaps it just didn't seep into my usual habits yet. Then again, I'm not really the type of guy who's accustomed to hearing my own voice. So the voice note feature isn't really a solution to a problem that I've been facing. However, Nothing did say that Essential Space is still in its early stages, and there will be more developments and integrations in the future. So there is certainly potential here, and I'm excited to see what Nothing has in store for us in the coming months. So in conclusion, the Phone 3a succeeds the Phone 2a in all the right ways. It's a clear upgrade in terms of build quality, cameras, IP rating, and it goes for the same starting price as the Phone 3a when it released last year, which is 1,699 ringgit. It gets a solid grade A from me, and it certainly meets the value at this price point. So what do you think? Will you get the Phone 3a? Let us know below. Give this video a like, and don't forget to follow us on our social pages at Price Shock Mind.